Earlier, you looked at a process that defines machine learning, where you make a guess, then you measure how good or bad that guess is, and then based on that, you make another guess and keep repeating the process. Measuring how effective your guess is often called measuring your loss. Minimizing your loss means you increase your accuracy. You'll learn strategies for minimizing the loss soon. But first, let's look at it and a way that you can measure it. So for example, you have the values of X and Y that you can see here, and you want to figure out a way to match X and to Y. So you know that Y is a function of X. You just don't know what that function is. So make a guess. Say you think it's Y equals 3X minus 1. It's as good a guess as any. But how do you measure how good or bad it is? Well, first let's calculate what Y will look like. You can see that here. So now we know that what Y is supposed to look like. I can see my Y and I can see the real Y. They are not the same. In some cases, they are good. The second entry, for example, and in some cases, they're bad. The last entry where I guessed 11, but the real value is 7. Is there a way for me to formalize calculating how good or bad these are? Maybe I can look at it by plotting them. Here I can see the real values of Y and I can see my guesses. And by drawing a line between them, I can see the length of the line, figure out which ones are good and which ones are not so good. I can measure the length of this line. So it's -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 for my 6 points. Let me remove the chart so I can see these clearly. Maybe I can add them up to get an overall loss for my results. But that seems wrong. Take a look at the error of -1 and 1, because even though both are wrong, they cancel out. So it looks like I'd actually have 3 of my 6 correct, when in fact I only have 1. So what if I square them to remove the negatives? So my losses squared will look like this. They're all positive. So I won't have any canceling out of each other, and my correct one is still 0. So now if I total all these up, I get 31. Because I squared them, I can take the square root and get a fair measurement of my error. It's 5.57. So now let me repeat that with another guess. If I guess that Y equals 2X minus 2, now I can see that my Y is still off the real Y. But when I measure the difference and square that, I get 5 ones. If I add them up, I'll still get 5. And the square root of that is 2.23. So my loss is now smaller than it was. So I'm heading in the right direction. And now if I guess Y equals 2X minus 1, I can calculate my loss as 0. So I know I have the right formula to get the right answer. I just explained loss and how to measure it. Of course, the next step is how you can use that information to generate the next guess, knowing that the next guess would be a better one. The process called optimization will be covered a little later. But first, let's take a look at some code that uses this process.